Hello and welcome to another episode of MOPO where we discuss matters of personal opinion.
It's all MOPO.
I'm sitting here with @DaveRoach83 and special guest friend Jeff, part of the Eagles Super Bowl win. The topic for this episode is going to be the NFL awards and a bit of a discrepancy with some of the nominations.
Basically, I'm going to repurpose the NFL awards to how I think they should be. What they should be now.
NFL
awards?
The
real NFL awards for 2017-18 season. We'll start with Coach of the Year. And, you know, the dude McVay got it all for the Rams. And he's like a good coach and all. But we beat the Rams.
Right.
And won the Super Bowl. And had so many injuries on this team that how can you only give Doug Peterson one vote? Or is either one or two votes that he got for Coach of the Year. Doug Peterson is the Coach of the Year. We did not make the Eagles did not make the playoffs last year. And now they did. And not only made the playoffs, and he's the coach, and the first time in the playoffs is being a coach, and they won the Super Bowl. How is he not Coach of the Year?
We win the first game, we lose the second game. Then we go on a string of, 7 games in a row before we lose our next game, which was a questionable game in Seattle anyway.
Right, in Seattle.
But look where the record is at this point. We're 6-1, 7-2. You know, we're doing really well, and you're trying to say that the coach hasn't been doing his job all season. I get it that, like he said, the Rams, Timothy McVay might have done a good job.
Sean, but it's okay.
Might have done a good job, but you can't say that he's not the Coach of the Year.
Certainly not better than, Doug Peterson. And, but just real quick, the beginning of the year when they hired him, I thought that was a horrible, horrible hire. And he proved me and everybody wrong. He's a genius. And he outcoached Belichick and just, made this team into a champion. So, once again, Doug Peterson, Coach of the Year. GM of the Year, General Manager of the Year, Howie Roseman. I don't know if they even give that award out or who might have got it, really. But this man made championship moves. If we're talking about for 1 year, because we all know Howie Roseman has made plenty of mistakes. But he signed Alshon Jeffrey, signed LeGarrette Blount, traded for J.A., signed Nick Foles. Championship moves.
I would agree. No GM has done the same moves and helped his team win overall. It's not just one or two things that he's done. Since
maybe Pat Gillick for the Phillies, and when they hired him in 2005 or whatever, won the World Series 2008.
At least let this dude say that he got beat by one vote if he did. Because who else would have done what he did? Who else is the GM of the year?
I don't know. But to me, he is. Owner of the Year. Once again, I think this is a real award. I don't know who got it, but Jeffrey Lurie should get Owner of the Year because once again, his story arc went from this guy who bought the Eagles after the longtime owner had him, and this guy is just more worried about doing making his movies and doing other things than being the owner of the Eagles. He refused to pay Terrell Owens. When if you would have just paid Terrell Owens, we could have won a couple Super Bowls. And he finally grew as an owner and is finally doing what is necessary. We had some of the best complexes as a team, the facilities, the trainers, the hires that he's making. He's just doing what is necessary for the Eagles to win a championship, and it starts at the top at the owner. Owner of the Year, Jeffrey Lurie. The NFL MVP is Carson Wentz. And don't tell me, he only got hurt because Joe Montana got hurt before the season ended before, and he had a similar season to Carson Wentz's, and he won the NFL MVP when he was hurt. He didn't play every game either. Carson Wentz, up until the time of the injury, was the best player in the NFL. Some people might say that dude Deshaun Watson, had a great season too, but his season was even shorter than Carson Wentz's. So you can't say he's better than Carson Wentz. Tom Brady got that award by name only. He is not the most valuable player on that team, because the most valuable player on that team is Belichick. And they proved it in the Super Bowl because he threw for 500 yards and he lost. You're not the NFL MVP. Carson Wentz is the NFL MVP.
Carson Wentz is the NFL MVP because the career numbers, he broke the Eagles' all-time most passing touchdowns in a season and still missed 4 games?
Nasty.
Just imagine if you would have given them other 4 games. He could have put up Drew Brees-type numbers in a season. What I mean by that is 40 to 50 touchdowns and 4,000 to 5,000 passing yards a season. He was on pace.
Yep. And you know what? The future looks bright for the kid. I think he has actual legit MVP seasons ahead of him, and we can only hope so. And another kind of shocker to me, I don't know who, does these votes and how they accumulate or, how they actually come up with this stuff, but how Fletcher Cox did not get Defensive Player of the Year is amazing. Now, Carson Wentz only got 1 or 2 votes for MVP. Doug Peterson only got 1 or 2 votes for MVP or whatever. I don't even know if his name was even brought up. But to not give him NFL Defensive Player of the Year is just crazy. It's just crazy. I guess I'll leave it at that. Fletcher Cox, the man among boys. They double-team the man.
All I know is, if you watch what he's done all year, there's always 1 or 2 players that are constantly on the man every time the ball snaps. He's such a presence in the middle of the field. He has a long reach and attention span to grab for... Dude, this dude is the nasty.
And he still gets crazy stats. And he's double-teamed.
He fights off the block and makes the play, and usually in the backfield.
So, Defensive Player of the Year, Fletcher Cox. Comeback Player of the Year, I realized Keenan Allen came back from a really bad injury and had a really great year. More power to you, bro. You're on the fantasy squad. Good job. But the true comeback player of the year is Nelson Agholor. That dude had a trash season last year, dropping balls like a nut, like a prepubescent boy or whatever, dropping balls. And
for me, it wasn't the comeback player as more of the turnaround player, but since they don't have the turnaround player, comeback is the same thing of what she's talking about. Nelson Agholor went from what everybody expected him to be, but was he that when he started? No. He was a bum in the beginning, but then he got good this year.
He must have did what he had to do in the offseason, like Matthews should have, he traded into Buffalo, but,
and then
learn how to catch. And you know what, man, it's just another great move by, the GM of the year, Howie Roseman. But yeah, definitely, comeback player of the year, Nelson Agholor. His season, he made so many good plays for the Eagles this year. It's just amazing. And that, I always say it, the team. It was a complete team effort. Is why the Eagles won. But we'll move on to Man of the Year. J.J. Watt raised a lot of money for a lot of people, but the Man of the Year is Chris Long, because he gave up his own money, his entire salary for the whole year, to charity.
So think about it. Every game he was out there, he was playing for fun. He didn't knew that all that money he was raising was going to a good cause. He didn't need the money. He knew that the Eagles needed a championship. And when New England didn't want to re-sign him, he said, how can I get back in New England? The best way is going to be with the Eagles.
Yep.
So that makes him the Man of the Year, because not only does he give back, but he gets back.
He gets back. And it's funny because he really left me because he wasn't getting no playing time over there. How are you not going to play this man? Like, he plays good on the field, he plays good off the field. He's just a good dude. He got good lineage. Dad was a good dude. Villanova, graduate, Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame, actually. I think he is. But anyway, Chris Long, Man of the Year. And we'll wrap things up with the Rookie of the Year, who is Corey Clement. I want to look at this. I should have looked it up. I'm not going to look it up because I just feel like it's a good number. Yards per touch. This kid, Corey Clement, got to have at least 10 yards per touch. Like, every time he touches the ball, it's a first down or a touchdown. It's just, like, good yardage.
How many times in the last few games in the playoffs leading into the Super Bowl have we given this guy the ball? And sometimes on first and second down. And he was supposed to be our third down back. And there was a lot of times he was out there on first down making first down.
Yep. I remember that one game where we had a Jaye end one, and we used Clement the whole game. He killed it.
Rookie of the Year.
Absolutely, to me, the Rookie of the Year. Made fantastic plays all year, and especially in the Super Bowl. But what did you think about the NFL awards this year? I think it was a little bit lopsided. New Orleans wins 2, and then the Rams win 2. You need to spread that out a little bit more, legit. But, that's all matter of personal opinion.
It's all MOPO.
It's all MOPO.
Thanks for listening.